Welcome back to the program. We continue with our lifestyle segment, and now we just want to better understand this whole issue of teen pregnancies and how different organizations have come up to at least salvage the situation. This morning, I'm speaking to Kerubo Ogoti, who is the Community Relations Coordinator at Right to Thrive. Kerubo, habari yako?
Nzuri sana.
Nataka tuanzie with better understanding.
Yes.
What is Right to Thrive?
Yes.
What does it do as an organization?
All right. So Right to Thrive started in 2009, and we're incorporated in New York in the US, but our programs are in Kenya. So we have three main programs: Youth Empowerment Program, Economic Empowerment Program, and Educational Scholarship. Right to Thrive was started by our founder, Janet Patry, when she came to Kenya, and she went to a children's orphanage in Reduta Satellite and decided to support them. But along the way, we saw the need, she saw the need of starting an organization whereby youths and children can be helped. Yes, that is how Right to Thrive was incorporated.
Okay.
Yes.
What I'm picking from you is that you have like three facets in the organization, because you've mentioned youth empowerment, you've mentioned economic, as well as scholarship.
Yes.
Now, I'd love our viewers to better understand, before we go to the whole aspect of teen pregnancies, because all this is featured into what you do as an organization.
Yes.
So I'd like you to break it down for us. So first of all, when you talk about youth empowerment,
yes,
what exactly do you deal with? What do you do?
Okay, so our youth empowerment program, we teach life skills. So basically anything that is not taught in school. You know, the basics that we've been taught in school: math, English, Swahili, science, and
the subjects.
Yeah, the subjects, yes. So we teach life skills. Simple things like communications, prioritizing, time skills, art, music, sports. So those are some of the things that we are teaching. Things that are not incorporated mostly in school. And most of our programs come in between, where we want the minimal or the maximum behavior change. Yes.
So now when you talk about these skills that you are teaching this youth, which are
Yes,
not taught in school,
right,
what is the main idea behind it?
Okay.
What do you hope to achieve by teaching these young people these skills that when they are in a kawaida school setup,
yes,
they won't be getting it?
They won't be getting
Yeah.
it. So the whole idea about the youth empowerment program was, after the organization was started, we saw that there was a vacuum whereby someone is taught basic math. They are taught the basic things, that the 5 subjects and everything, but there is a very huge hole whereby, especially in behavior, and so we wanted to educate people on the behavior and some of the things that they can do so that there is behavior change. And we came to realize that when you teach something which comes manners, behavior, obedience, such things, even in school, someone gets better grades. So, you know, at times, just to give a good example, a child can be so bright, but at the same time be so disobedient, that we tend to imply that this child, the only thing that we can see is the negative part. So what if we have a child who's bright, or who is medium, or who doesn't perform so well, but is well behaved? So, you know, those are some of the things that we've been looking at for the past 10 years. Yeah.
I'd really love us to continue the conversation, but I want to stick with that behavior bit.
Behavior bit,
too.
yes,
You know why?
Yes.
Because they always say that, just the way you're mentioning, that you can be so bright,
yes,
or so smart, but because probably you don't have those two nitty-gritties, good manners, even in a job setup, you end up losing your job.
Definitely.
You're very smart, you can do your work well, but maybe, you know, sometimes you could be having issues even with how you respond to your bosses, maybe issues with timekeeping here and there. So this is, when we talk about skill, this is what you actually teach these young people.
Yes.
So what are some of the gains that you've made so far when it comes to, you know, this behavior change that you teach these young people?
Sorry, pardon?
I'm saying the kind of gains in terms of probably, if I can mention, the people that you say, you know, this category, at least you've taught them this, and we can see this one has changed. For example, you know, if someone probably was smart the way we are saying, but their manners was just so off. But, you know, by incorporating them into this program, you can clearly say that, hey, at least something is changing.
So coincidentally, we have so many success stories when it comes to behavior change. And when you, I can just give you an example. For example, a child who comes to school and essentially picks people's things. At the end of the day, what will we call that? The pickpocket. So at the end of the day, what will we call that child? A thief, right? That is the layman's language. Yeah. So we've had so many success stories, more than 20 success stories, and we have already published the success stories in such a way that someone has changed their behavior, and you can see the positive part out of it. So we will, for example, if a child is a thief, we will picks people's things. We will come up with a strategy of finding out why is this child taking others people's things, because just
so you go to the roots of it to understand.
Yes, we go to the root problem, just the root problem. Sorry, the root problem. So just a simple thing like a pen. Why did she take someone's pen? Most probably she doesn't have a pen. That is why she took the other pen. Or at times it makes her happy to have more than 10 pens in her bag. You know, they're just so.
And you may not know why.
Yeah, it is very diverse. Yeah. So the story is someone can take it because they don't have it, or someone can take it because maybe she's lacking a red pen, she can pick a red pen. Another one can just take it so that she can have more than 10 pens in her bag. So we need to find out what is the reason, and the reasons are very, very unique and diverse. Yes.
So that's again why you come into place, because again, just the way you're mentioning, the reasons are very different, diverse, and they are unique to a particular child.
Yes.
And it's very important to address them,
yes,
you know, even as an organization. Now let's come to the second bit of it, which you mentioned, it matters with economy.
Yes.
So as an organization, what exactly do you do for young people when it comes to this aspect of economy? How do you help them thrive?
So we have a program known as the Adult Economic Empowerment.
Yeah.
The first thing that we do, we cooperate with tertiary colleges. Just a good example, most people go to college or university or campus, and they are done with a 4, 5-year, 2-year program. But at the end of the day, they don't know how will I go and search for jobs. Some of these people don't even have an idea of how to do it, and someone has been in school for all these years. So we teach.
So you wonder what has someone been learning in school
for 4 years? Yes, but if it's engineering,
and you see some basics such as those ones.
Yeah. Hauna, you don't have them. Okay. So these are things that we teach. Yeah. So we have a program known as the workforce readiness. So we teach in tertiary colleges. Simple things like how do you draft a CV? Just simple things. What are the yes and the no's in the CVs? How do you dress up for an interview? You know, simple things. How do you portray yourself? How do you handle yourself? How do you manage yourself when you're having an interview? Such things. And so we've been teaching tertiary colleges, but before that we teach them emotional intelligence all through. So it's a whole program. It's a whole program. Then at the end of it all, we teach them their workforce readiness. How can you search for a job? Newspapers, social media, through word of mouth, you know, such things. There are specific links that you go, they're just specific for job searches. Social media, there are specific handles for job searches. People don't know about that. And there's a lot of opportunity,
and
by the way.
that's where you guys come in.
Yes.
Now, you know, just as you were speaking also, and I was really keenly paying attention to what you're saying, and I was just reminded of this fact, that every time we keep talking about the kind of education system we have in this country, and you see, for you as an organization, you're coming into place, it just means that there's a missing link.
Definitely.
Because you are mentioning the basics. For instance, you're just talking about the way to dress when you're going for a job interview, how to put your CV together, how to search for jobs. And you talked about you've been in school for 4 years, and these are the nitty-gritties. These are basics, but someone doesn't have. So from your perspective, how do you feel, just from a holistic point, about the kind of education system we have right now? Because if the basics can be lacking, then what are we learning?
No, our education system, there's a loophole, but that loophole can be filled. Just as simple as, if it's University of Nairobi, it's as simple as partnering with Right to Thrive, so that we can incorporate.
I like that. So it's missing so that someone else can come into play.
So,
all right.
Or eventually the whole education system, you know, the loophole can be filled. It's not something that cannot work out. Yes.
Okay. Now, still keeping up with the economic aspect of which, of the economic empowerment that you do for the young people, what would you say has been the biggest problem that you've spotted, even as you go about just empowering them economically to know what exactly to do and how they need to go about it?
So before that, we have an economic empowerment program where we teach on how to start a small business, how to maintain the small business, how to simple things like inventory tracking, you know, customer care, just the simple things that people are not taught. Someone will open, for example, just a shop,
yes,
but will be so rude that the customer will decide.
Mannerism again.
Yes, you see, someone will be like, I'm never going back to that shop ever again.
And this someone who was actually in campus for a whole 4 years.
For a whole 4 years. Or probably you're selling whatever, be it online, be it with a shop, be it whatever kind of business. So costing and tracking. At times you have a business and you don't know how to cost and track. So at times you're buying things but you're not selling them at a profit. Why all the hustle and bustle of waking up in the morning and you're not making profit out of it? So we teach them how are we going to cost this particular good. If it's this newspaper, what is the cost of buying? What is the cost of all these things, then what will be your percentage in profit? So we teach them that.
So the nitty-gritties of also starting a business is also what you teach them when it comes to that economic bit of it.
Yes.
So have there been youths, you know, probably in that particular program who've managed to start their own business? And probably yes. How many and how are they doing? Yeah,
there have been a couple who have started a business, probably like a number of around 10 years. Yeah, but there are also, of course, there are very many challenges when it comes to having a business.
Clearly there are. I can relate.
There are very many challenges. And the whole idea of if someone starts a business, will still be taking them through the program yet again as they are still in business. Just a good example of COVID.
Yeah.
COVID has brought so much negativity, especially with people who have businesses. And probably as a family or as a community, you have to prioritize. And at times prioritizing for some things, probably like clothes, becomes not a priority if you do not have food.
Yeah.
So those are some of the challenges. And some of the challenges also, for example, just a hair salon.
Yes.
One of our beneficiaries had a salon, but you can imagine if someone, will you make your hair or will you eat? So at times weighing
there's
those
a thin
options.
line to know what exactly to do. So there are very many challenges when it comes to even the profit aspect of it. At times our needs are much more than the profits. So giving back to the business is a problem. So the people who start small businesses take a lot, but giving back is a problem. So the capital at times is not intact. Someone spends the capital because their needs are more. And the businesses, there are some businesses which have thrived and some which have not. You've mentioned something just right now, which I'd want you to expound a bit, since again you're also talking about youth empowerment, and this is in regards to capital. Have you had that particular problem, even as you're dealing with these young people? Because they will always tell you, I mean, oftentimes, that yes, you know, you're teaching us to do ABC, which is again good. I want to start this business, but I don't have the capital to go, I mean, to start. So how do I go about it? So for you as someone who's a trainer in regards to this, what are some of the steps that you teach them on how they need to at least address this particular issue? Yeah,
capital is a very, very big issue, a very big one. Because if I give you the educational part of it and you don't have the capital to start the business.
So what exactly am I doing?
What exactly are you doing? But now this is where we teach them on how the sources of capital, simple things like microfinances, like banks, like chamas, some of those things. We teach them on this is the direction that you can take to have capital. You can either repay it or you can have savings. So there is a clearly laid out plan on how to do it.
Which actually is what you train them. So what about joining, or better still, how do you source for these young people? Because I mean, it's cut across. It's not just in Nairobi, it's even beyond. So how do you go about, you know, picking that, you know, probably we'll pick this ones for this particular program. Is there a registration way? How do you guys go about it?
So previously we would go actually door to door.
Wow.
Yeah.
Umejitolea hivyo kusaidia young people.
Yeah, previously we will go door to door and invite them with a flyer. We will invite them. We were like, please come to our, and you know it's for free. Come to our program. We want to teach you this and this and this and this. But nowadays we have partnership with mostly tertiary colleges. We have partnerships.
And that's how you're able to get them. Now let's talk about the last bit of what you do at the organization, which is matters to do with scholarship. How do you go about it? How do you offer the scholarship, you know, to these young people? So what is the criteria like?
So we have at least 8 university students and probably around 6 primary, but mostly we source them from the community because we work one-on-one with the community, and we know who has the best, as in the need, not the best, sorry, the need We know, because the whole aspect, the beautiful part about working one-on-one, it's something that you will see with your own eyes. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. But it is not a big program yet, but we are hoping to expand it. Yeah,
not yet a big program, but at least you're hoping to expand it and make it big.
Yes.
Now, also, there's one thing that we were just conversing before we came on air, and this is in regards to teen pregnancies, which is, again, one of the things that you also do at the organization, at least to curb this issue of teen pregnancies. Before we go deeper, just give us a picture of what exactly you do in regards to that.
So our youth empowerment program, there's something we call coaching, then there's something else we deal with known as mentoring. We have a mentoring program. We mentor young people through all this, and we coach them. So just an idea of something like coaching. There are very basic things that we tend to take advantage of. So if a child has a problem, at times we decide on their behalf that this is the problem, but we don't get it from the horse's mouth that now this is the original problem. So we interact with the child, him or herself, just this specific person. One-on-one. We want to know where the problem is. It is very unfortunate that we can be talking about youth, and whenever we have people on a panel, none is youth. They don't know the exact.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't know.
And oftentimes that is an issue that has really, really come up. Just the way they are actually, was it yesterday? Yeah, when the president was actually having such a program. Yeah. And even some young people were putting him to task. To even start getting people that are below 35 to hold these positions.
Yes, we need those positions. So at the end of the day, we need to know. We need to interact with the youth themselves. They tell us the problem. So some of, like in our program, in the school that we deal with over 300 students. We have the specific idea about coaching. We interact with the child, and we're like, just an example, a mom will come with a problem. She'll be like, my daughter comes home very late nowadays, and now
this mom is coming to you.
Yes, and this is, kids have been out of school for 10 months. That is quite a lot of time. So we call the kid, we have a meeting with the kid in a very loving way, in a very calm and loving way. No corporal punishment at all. And
just conversation.
Just conversation. And this is the model that we use. So what is the current situation? Of course, the mom would have explained, or a teacher, or one of us would have noticed. This girl comes to school, comes home very late. She has friends who are not so good. She comes home drunk. She wears skimpingly. There are some 1, 2, 3 issues. So we'll sit with the child. What is the current situation? This is the current situation. Then the child will tell you, probably, mom comes home very annoyed. Every time it's backlash here and there. And the only thing that I need in that house is peace. I don't want every time to be shouted at, right?
Now the child is telling you
that. And
one thing she couldn't tell the parent.
Yes. So what is the reason? Why do you stay out very late? She's like, when I'm in the house, maybe it's every now and then it's issues after issue after issue after all the smallest issues, But we totally, at times parents also have their own problems. So after this is the desired situation. I want peace in the house. I'll be home more than. Then now, what are the obstacles? One of the obstacles we've come to realize is that mom is not so loving, is not patient with the teenager. At times a teenager can mess up, but there's a way that you can discipline them, correct them in a different way. It doesn't have to be corporal punishment. Or else she can tell you that she hangs out with a friend, just an example, maybe a Mary, who has boyfriends, and she likes it because there's loud music, That is why I was telling you there are diverse and unique situations. Every child has a diverse and unique situation. Yes. Okay. So afterwards we will know this is now the current situation. This is what she desires. She's like, hey, I'll stop hanging out with Mary because every time Mary brings me problems. I will stop drinking because every time probably in the morning I'll have a hangover, or mom will chase me away, such things. These are the obstacles. I'm bored. I have nothing to do at home. So if the child is bored, what can you do so that does she love art? Does she love music? Does she love playing football? Just simple things. Then what are the sources of help?
Okay.
Yes. So can the mom be more communicative? If can the child be more communicative? Can there be peace and love? You know, so what are the sources of help? How can we help? Can we encourage the mom at least every day to find out what has been going on, and the daughter or the son can tell them, today we have been doing this and this and this. But every time, probably, if you go home and start yelling, you will not know what has been going on during the day.
Wow, you really extensively explained the reason as to why probably you came up with that particular, segment on the program.
Yes.
This is at least to curb the issue of teen pregnancies.
Yes.
And you've raised a lot of issues.
Yes.
And one particular which I want us to tackle so much is that issue of parents, because the other day we also had again teens in a particular safe house.
Yes.
And you see there's that question of where were the parents when these teenagers were going to this place, and there's a lot that is happening that was happening rather in regards to that. So what I just want to understand and want to know is it a question of missing parents as to why we're having a lot of teen pregnancies and teen issues, that parents are not probably present for their children, or how would you better describe and explain this?
So previously, students and youths and just even an example of a youth in a tertiary college, someone who's above probably 18 but between a youth below 23 years of age, will be in school 90% of the time. So the parent had only 10% of the time probably in an annum with this child. But now, because there are no schools, it has become so hectic. It has become so hectic because parents now have the full responsibility of parenting this kid. Of parenting these kids. Now that is where the problem comes in, because first of all, the kids right now have so much time on their hands. Previously, a child will go to school from probably 7 in the morning, come back at 5. So if it's having a party, they will not have that time. Then there is also the issue of communication.
Yeah, which is one very important.
So just an example of a girl who disappeared recently, and the parent was being asked, when was the last time you saw her? She told me that she's going out, she's going for a sleepover.
Yes.
Did you confirm that she was going for a sleepover? She was like, no, the girl comes here. So she didn't bother calling the other parent to find out. So when after the whole incident, the parents are communicating, they're like, no, she told me she's coming to your house. And then the other parent, no, she told me she's coming to your house. And they went.
And that was it.
And that was it.
So yes, in as much as we might want to at least also be on the side of the parents, what I'm getting from is that there's a bit of a missing link.
There is a missing
that
link.
Sometimes, parents, they're not that keen so much on their children. Now, I'd like us to go to the gains that probably you've made, especially to curb teen pregnancies. But before we get to do that, I'd love to address this story, which was also on the PD this morning. And it was a trending hashtag yesterday, hashtag Lugulu Girls. And this is a story in regards to a young 16-year-old girl who's allegedly raped by one of the male teachers in that school. And also one of the questions which I was asking my colleagues this morning is that school is supposed to be a safe place.
Definitely.
And this is just one school where we are seeing this particular issue happening. And also why it happened is because the girls there decided to actually go on strike. And there are numerous other cases. What could be the problem?
There are quite a number of problems.
Quite a number of issues. Tell us like one main, major issues, because I mean it's really an ongoing. It's so sad.
Number one, we need to create a safe space. Like in our program, there's a safe space. Someone can talk about their issues. One thing that the girl highlighted was they had already told the principal. But the principal was like, please keep it on a down low so that it cannot be publicized. We need to have a safe space. Number two,
communication.
For communication. Number two, there's also an issue with security. That means that someone can come in and go out anytime
the way they want and do whatever they want to do.
Whatever they want. We need to have security. We need to put our children need to be secure wherever they are. Even as a parent, if you've taken a child to school, you need to have the mindset that my child is safe. So security is also a very big issue, meaning there's a way this person comes into the school and there's a way they live. Security is a very big issue.
I like that. Safe spaces. As well as create security for these people.
For these young girls.
For these young girls. So safe spaces where they can communicate and air out their issues. And secured areas where if I'm in this school, I can feel secured enough to be in that space until the period when I'm leaving. Okay, now let's come back to your organization, talk about the gains you've made, because just as you really extensively explained to us about what you're trying to do in regards to curbing teen pregnancies, given the fact that right now it's still an ongoing issue lot, and there's a lot of young people just getting pregnant. So what are some of the gains that you've made thus far?
Oh, so we've been following up on the stories. Now, the very first thing, we're also involving boys. We are also involving boys. You know, one thing we've really forgotten about the boy child.
Wait, here come in Peter. You are also involving boys.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Because, okay, I'm sorry. Anytime we talk about girls in whatever capacity, there's always that thinking of, okay, and where are the boys?
Hey, where are the boys?
Sometimes there's that question of, are we doing so much for the girls in whatever, you know, capacity at the expense of the boys?
Yes. Yes, we are. That is that
looks like you have someone who we share the same thinking. Okay, tell us what you're doing now, Dad.
So, we are incorporating even the young men. Just respect this girl. Okay. Yeah, respect the boundaries, the life skills that we've been teaching you, priorities. Why are you engaging in things which your age does not accept?
Engaging in things that their age does not accept.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So those are some of the strategies. And the young girls, we are teaching them and reminding them every day of the life skills. Coincidentally, amongst the 300 students, none of them.
So meaning whatever you're teaching them inaingia
vizuri kabisa.
Okay, very briefly, Kerubo, what next for these young people in your organization?
Okay. So we are hoping to expand and preach, you know. We want to preach everywhere, all over the place. And continue empowering. So we want to expand all our programs, be it life skills, be it the youth empowerment, be it the economic empowerment. We want more. We want people who are self-sufficient.
Okay.
We are.
Fair enough. Yes. And better place to end it. People that are self-sufficient. So that has been Kerubo Ogoti, the Community Relations Coordinator at Try to Thrive, talking to us about what they're doing at the organization in regards to empowering young people and helping them become better persons. We take a very short break, but we come back with more of Good Morning Kenya.